Did you know your colorful classroom chalk is actually made from ancient seashells and crushed rocks? Hold a piece of colored classroom chalk in your mind. It seems like it was born right in a school supply box, but it's actually a traveler made from earth materials that went on a long trip to reach your fingers. So what is chalk, really? Many chalk sticks are made from a mineral called limestone, plus white clay, plus color pigments that come from rocks and minerals dug out of the ground. Let's go to the earth connection. Limestone often starts as ancient sea life shells that became rock over millions of years. People quarry it from hills and cliffs using huge drills and crushers that can chew rock into gravel and powder. Chalk also needs color, and colors can come from mineral pigments like iron oxides for reds and yellows, and other mined minerals for blues and greens. These minerals are dug up with careful surveying, blasting, and hauling, because the ground is also home to plants and animals. Here's the impact moment. Digging and quarrying give us useful minerals, but they also change the landscape and create dust and noise. That's why many sites work on plans like controlling dust, protecting waterways, and restoring the land after mining so nature can return. Now the great transformation begins. Rocks get crushed into powder so fine it feels like flour. Imagine giant steel teeth grinding stone, then spinning screens sifting it until the powder is smooth enough to become chalk. To make a stick that doesn't crumble instantly, factories mix the mineral powder with water and a binder, kind of like making a strong dough. Then they add tiny amounts of pigment, and suddenly the plain white mix can turn bright blue or sunny yellow. Next comes the factory superpower part, shaping. The wet mixture gets pressed through molds or extruded into long chalk logs, then cut into short sticks like a snack being sliced, only this is mineral dough turning into classroom tools. Chalk has to dry, and drying takes energy, like running a warm, giant indoor desert. Some factories use efficient dryers and try to power them with cleaner electricity, because using less energy means less pollution and less climate impact. After drying, machines smooth the sticks so they feel nice in your hand, and then they're sorted by color. Little sensors can spot cracks or broken pieces faster than our eyes, helping reduce waste. Now the global puzzle. The limestone might come from one country, the pigments from another, and the cardboard tray from trees grown somewhere else. All those parts can travel by truck, train, and giant cargo ship before meeting at one factory line. When the chalk is finally packed, it rides across cities and towns to stores and schools. It's easy to forget that a small box can represent thousands of miles and many machines working together. And now it's back with you. A simple stick that can draw galaxies, math problems, and comic heroes. But every chalk line is also a reminder that Earth materials were mined, moved, heated, and shaped to make that moment happen. So what happens next is partly your mission. Use chalk thoughtfully, don't snap it on purpose, and save leftovers for smaller drawings. If your school collects broken chalk, it can sometimes be reused or recycled into new sticks, which saves resources and energy. That's the chalk's secret trip, from ancient seas to quarries to factories to your hand. The more we understand a product's journey, the smarter we can be about protecting the places it came from and inventing cleaner ways to make the things we love.